only thing that is constant is change. Heraclitus said so. Hello, friends. I am Nafisa Nazneen, blessed to be mother of a smart son, wife to a loving, talented, handsome, having a decade of working experience as a microbiologist, now turned a soft skill, life skill, corporate and public trainer, come speaker, and of course a podcaster. I firmly believe that I am born to shine, and so are all living creatures. Welcoming you all, my lovely friends, to a bright new episode titled as Embrace the New Change COVID 19. Change is a natural and constant part of life, especially in such a fast paced world that we are living today. Not only everything around us changes, but we change as well. Now, the problem is many of us will resist and reject it, as change can be sometimes scary, difficult, and complex. But change is often a good thing and can be so worth it. While not all change feels good, if we can handle it and look at it in the right way, right light rather, growth as well as good outcomes can come from accepting change. Hence, it is advisable that we should seek, accept, and embrace change. Now, the current scenario globally is somewhat like normal people being exposed to extraordinary situation, that is COVID-19, self-quarantined, lockdown situation. My question is, how good are you to embrace this new change, a new world to face? So, for my today's episode, I have two special guests with me, my childhood friends. We are distant friends now, not able to meet each other since more than 13 years. I guess so, but we are friends, we were friends, and we will be friends forever. I asked them three questions related to my today's episode. First one, how is life going on in the self quarantined and lockdown period? Second, tell me two not so good learning from this current situation that has impacted your life and how you're coping with this. And third one, tell me four good learnings from this current situation that you are grateful for. So, I would like to invite my first guest. She is a pillar of support for her husband, a guiding light for her children, and a harbor for her family's elderly. Her existence is entirely selfless, emotionally holding her family together. She is a housewife, a microbiologist, a blessed mother of two children, beautiful children rather, and she's my loving friend from the city of steel plant, Bokaro, India. So I welcome you, Tamanna. She is Mrs. Tamanna Parveen. Welcome, dear. How are you?
I'm fine, Nafisa. How you are doing?
I'm also good. So, my today's episode is all about embracing change, and I would like to know the three questions that I asked you. Can you please answer them for my lovely audience to know about your how you are coping up with the situation? So, my first question to you is, how is life going on in this self-quarantined lockdown period for you, Tamanna?
Life is doing good, Nafisa. As you know, I am happy. I am an housewife. You know now. But
Yes.
still, in these lovely changes, or you can say not so lovely changes also, as this has given me some time to spend with my husband. He's at home in this lockdown. You know, this has not brought lot of changes in my life, but a big changes that has been included is that we are not very dependent on restaurants and all. So I have to prepare food at home. We don't go out mostly very frequently. So
Okay.
not much impacted, but we have adopted to this life and self-hygiene as per our needs.
Good. That's great. Shall I go for the next question?
Yes.
Okay, so tell me two not so good learning from this current situation that has impacted your life and how you're coping with it.
Firstly, that has made more of this my daughter that she's at home all the time. Schools are not open. She has become a more addicted girl to mobile. Every time she can't go out, she feels irritated.
Absolutely.
This is the first thing. And secondly, that has made a bit what you call that health related issues. Doctors are not available, so
Correct.
we have to mostly contact them over phone, and whatever guidance they can give. Touch wood, I have not faced such an emergency like where we need to see the doctor, but over phone is going on like this.
Okay, good. So, and the third and last one is, tell me 4 good learnings from the current situation that you are grateful for.
I'm grateful to Almighty that we are all staying safe at home. We are all looking after each other. We don't have like other people who are stuck outside. As you can see in news also, many people are outside moving. The government has made some what you say arrangements to make them go home.
Yeah.
So we are safe at home.
Good.
And secondly, most of my family members, they are out. My sister-in-law's daughter, son, they are all doing job outside in Pune and Bhopal.
Different locations, right?
Yeah, different locations. So they are not affected. They are staying in isolation also. What we call home isolation.
Yeah.
So they are all safe. And thirdly, we did not face any such emergency in last couple of months when there was lockdown.
Good, that's good.
This is also Almighty's greatness that we are all okay. And thirdly, as you know, as we have read specifically being a microbiologist, we all know, we are aware how to maintain hygiene, but in daily practice we hardly maintain these things.
Yes.
But coronavirus has made us being more precautionary, like how to wash vegetables immediately after bringing home.
Yeah.
Use of sanitizers and masks.
Absolutely. So our lifestyles are changing. We have to adapt to the current situation, right?
Yes, we have made changes according to the current situation.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything else you would like to share, or that's it?
Lastly, I would like to conclude that people who are not cooperating with the government or with the doctors or the
healthcare people, right?
The healthcare people, they need to cooperate with them so that they can get more of the what you say help from others.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Hmm.
They have to follow the regulations.
Yes, they have to follow, and people who are not at home, so they also need to take some measures.
Absolutely.
Be more, what you say.
Yeah. Okay. Okay then. Thank you for your giving me your valuable time, and we'll get back to you. Okay. Welcome. Thank you, dear. Yeah. Bye. Take care. So now, friends, the coronavirus, rather the disease as the name given by the International Committee on Taxonomy of Viruses, that is ICTV, named it as COVID-19. It is a highly transmissible and pathogenic viral infection which is caused by severe acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus 2, which they have named as SARS-CoV-2 in short form, right? Now this pandemic, it has significant and variable psychological impacts in each country depending on the stage of the pandemics. All the negative effects, which include stress, anger, fear, and all the negative feelings like panic, also depressions, etc. Now especially for the patients and the healthcare providers, right? They are going through these negative feelings immensely. Fortunately, the only thing that is in our hand right now is to adapt to the changes for our better survival, right? So here I welcome my another guest, a childhood sweetheart, supportive and encouraging friend of mine, a blessed mom, an awesome wife, and the world to her family. An engineer by profession, she is working as software development lead for Virginia State Government IT Department, Mrs. Varsha Nair. And it's a recorded version of her because our timings won't be matching. She's in Virginia right now, and I'm in India. So she has sent me the answers to my question which I asked her, and here it goes.
Hi friends, my name is Varsha. I'm Nafisa's friend. I was asked by Nafisa to speak to an interview for her channel during this coronavirus pandemic time period. So Nafisa, thank you so much for giving me an opportunity, and I hope I can answer your questions to the best of my ability. So here I go. The first question was, what are the good things that I had experienced during this pandemic? So, in every situations there are silver linings. So, as we know, with all the bad things that we had experienced or we had seen around the world during this pandemic, there are many good things that have happened too. So, four top things that comes to my mind that has happened during this time are: everybody is in this situation together. So this has resulted in a lot of support and unity being seen everywhere. People from local communities have come together to support people in need, like the old age people and people with high health risk, by catering to their several needs, like as simple as delivering groceries to them or picking up medicines for them and delivering to their doorsteps, because these people are at higher risk of getting the disease, and therefore it would be great if somebody would take that initiative and fulfill their needs. So that has been seen a lot during this time, and that definitely reflects how much people have united during this pandemic. The second one, I feel, is from the government or from the political perspective. All the governments worldwide have extended benefits to the underprivileged and people who have lost their jobs. So as we know, this pandemic had resulted in a number of job losses in pretty much every sector. We have healthcare workers who are in high demands, who are working round the clock, but on the other hand, there are businesses, small and large, that have been shut down for many, many weeks, which had resulted in loss of revenue for many people. And as people experience this lockdown, for some people who live paycheck to paycheck, it has been a very difficult time frame. But government has come forward and extended a lot of benefits to these people by providing them with extra income, with extra food aids, thereby showing their support and showing to the world that everybody, every human being, every political person, every government in this is in this together. So that's a good gesture that was put forward by many governments worldwide. A third good thing that had happened is the slowness or the pace that has slowed down in everybody's life. With a slower pace comes an opportunity for discovery, and life has definitely slowed down, giving many families to have the time to bond with each other, and in some cases, many individuals are discovering their hidden talents because now they know they have the time to discover those hidden hobbies or hidden likings which they have been always carrying in their mind, but they never got the opportunity to implement. Some of them took to blogging, some of them took to singing, some of them took to cooking, YouTubing. And in all this that they are doing, they are gaining that mental satisfaction, that happiness, which they had not been able to do all these years, because throughout all these years, it's kind of a mechanical life that everybody was leading. They didn't have time for anything. It's kind of just round the clock working. And I'm saying this only for some people, not all people, because again, as we know, healthcare workers are still working round the clock. But for some people who were fortunate enough to work from home, who were fortunate enough to have a less level of stress from their regular jobs, it was definitely a blessing, because they got to realize that they have a family who they have not bonded within many days or many years, because it's always catering to several needs which were always of so much demand. So I definitely think it had brought many families close to each other, and that's really a blessing. Last and not the least, but I would say, as the human footprint on the earth had suddenly lightened, nature bounced back. The lockdown gave back nature the peace and cleanliness it was deprived of for years. Many cities that were bustling with noise, with pollution, it gave a break to all of that. It gave a break to all the animals, the birds, who did not have a room or did not have a place to call their own, because it was all the places were occupied by human beings, thereby depriving the animals and plants or anything of their existence. They never enjoyed the earth that they're enjoying now. So that's a great feeling, I guess, even though we cannot feel what the animals are feeling right now, but we definitely know that they are coming out more, they are roaming around more, and nature is really happy to see all this, because nature is now understanding that human beings have really created a mess out of everything they have. They have been overusing all the natural resources, not even sharing it with the other animals of this planet who are equally entitled to all of this. So yeah, definitely the human footprint on the earth that has suddenly lightened resulted in nature bouncing back. So yeah, these are the few good things that I feel has come out of this pandemic lockdown period. Now, going to the bad. So this was the second question that Nafisa had. What are the two things that I felt was extremely bad or worse during the pandemic lockdown? So I would like to relate it from a human or from a personal perspective. So I've been living in the US for many years now, and when we live in a different land far from our homes, we miss a lot of things already. We miss our home, we miss our parents, we miss everything. Though we have a good life here, we cannot complain what we are blessed with, but there is a dark side to it too. And I think during this pandemic, people like us who are living far away from our homeland have been impacted a lot in situations where people lost their loved ones. So I know many friends of mine who have lost their parents or who have lost their near and dear ones to either the pandemic or to some other disease during this time. But because of the lockdown, they did not have a choice to fly back home. And that's a really disheartening situation. Not being able to see their loved ones in the deathbed, not being able to participate in the death rituals are very disheartening. And you go through that, you have a trauma that you go through anyway. But if you go through that trauma with your near and dear ones, then at least you have some kind of a relief. But with this pandemic, with this lockdown, when you don't have a choice to be part of those rituals, it's really disheartening, and it puts you through a lot of trauma. So I feel this particular experience has been really painful for many during this time. A second bad thing, I know there are many bad things, but I'm just listing the ones that have personally affected me, or I have seen my friends personally affected through this. So the second one is the lockdown has adversely impacted many daily wagers and people who own small businesses. With the social distancing, their revenues were greatly impacted, resulting many of them to lose their jobs. For many middle-class families who live paycheck to paycheck, this is a testing time because they don't have a means of paying rent. They don't have a means of meeting their daily, day-to-day necessities. And as a result of which, many have had to file unemployment. Even though they have filed for unemployment, will the benefits that are given by government be enough to meet their needs? Even after when the lockdown is lifted, will they be able to go back to their jobs? Because as we know, the lockdown has tremendously impacted many industries, and they have been asked to cut down a lot on their economic side. And with cuts, we know the jobs get cut. So all these people who have lost their jobs, will they be able to get back to their jobs? Will they be able to find new jobs? How is the economy going to affect them? And that itself is a big question that remains unanswered for many people. And it's really disheartening. Yeah, so that's the two things that I feel has been the worst experiences during this lockdown period. Now, coming to the last and final question, it's how I feel this lockdown has impacted my life, my family. How did I find the lockdown period to be personally? Well, I would say I am fortunate to have a job that allowed me to work from home during this pandemic. Unlike many workers or healthcare workers or healthcare professionals or other emergency professionals who had to be at the forefront every time. I was fortunate. I really consider myself to be fortunate where I could work from the comfort of my home. And during this period, when we see everything bad going around outside, to have a place to call home, to have a place to call home that is safe, have a place where my family is, that's a real blessing. And I am really fortunate to have that. I had my family with me, I have a job, I did not have to go through any kind of tensions or any kind of disheartening at my job side of things, knock on wood. And on the contrary, I was able to spend a lot of time with my family. I was also able to give some undivided attention to my kid. Many things that we do in our day-to-day lives when we are working, we are so much running around the clock that we do not pay attention to many things that we are now able to. And I personally feel like I am able to spend time with my kid, playing with him, spending time with my husband, spending time more in the kitchen, making many things that I had been desiring to make for a long period of time, but it was always some basic food that I just put on the table and be done for the week. But now I'm with the luxury to experiment with more food varieties, and my family is enjoying that. So definitely that itself, you are experiencing any of the trauma or the distress many people are going through. So personally, yes, I definitely think this lockdown has been a good time for me to bond, to be more productive, and at the same time connect with many friends whom I have not been connected with for many years. Connecting happened to a friend during a normal time, I would be supporting them, but I don't know if I would have the time and experience. All the questions, I think I have answered them all. I hope I have been able to convey my feelings, convey my experiences through this talk, and I hope you enjoyed it. So, have answered them all. I hope I had been able to convey my feelings. I really like what I'm seeing through all these podcasts and through all these talks that you are doing. Really a big fan of you. I wish all the great success to you in all that you do. Thank you. Thank you, and all the best to you.
Thank you, Varsha. That was really nice. Stay blessed. So, my dear audience, look for all positive things around you that you are surrounded with and be grateful to them. So, embrace this new change as a mode for learning new things, better adaptations, find new opportunities and possibilities, improve yourself, be courageous, be more resilient, appreciate failure and enjoy success. Be proactive, and finally, life becomes more interesting once we embrace the change, right? Hence, I will conclude my saying always remember Darwin's law of evolution, survival of the fittest. So, we need to survive and we have to be fit for that, right? So, stay blessed. I hope you have enjoyed my today's episode. Thank you for listening. Stay blessed, stay happy, stay safe, and keep smiling.